All right, how's it going, everyone? I'm Keeks Cosplay and Art, and right next to me is,
RyanWolfgang.
and we're here to give you guys a little bit. We're continuing our podcast. Sorry if we've been a little bit under the radar as of late. Things come up, still in the middle of a pandemic, of course. But yeah, so we've been doing other things, of course. I've been busy with a job, work essential job at least. Ryan's been busy doing some other things on his channel as well, and of course, and we're gonna give you guys six topics. That's three from me and three from Ryan. We're gonna switch back and forth and time ourselves, kind of like I got a timer right in front of me as well. So just in case if we do lose track of time or if we're done talking about the topic and stuff like that. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, I think one of the topics I think we should talk about. Well, actually, I've got one of three topics. I've got new video games coming out, like such as Resident Evil and 8 and Monster Hunter Rise and I think it's Rise and World 2 and the new Nintendo stuff that I've seen. Um, I've seen a little bit of Nintendo Direct, but not much of it. Another one is cartoons, is classic cartoons that
Yes.
are childhood cartoons.
Yeah.
Because why not? Why not? That would bring back a classic thing for us. And I think for me, and for my last one is my ultimate thing about not ultimate. Oh, what the heck am I saying? Um, just what's been going on in the pandemic and what's happening right now on my side of it and stuff like that. All right. Without further ado, those are my three topics. Ryan, what are your three topics?
And my topics are the new Mortal Kombat trailer that just released yesterday. We're gonna go in depth and talk about that and have a discussion. My second topic is what shows that we've been watching lately. So, like,
That's a good one, actually. I've been watching some pretty good
WandaVision
ones.
and, like, I've been watching a bit of Smallville and everything. I'm
Yeah, I've been watching a bit of Black Sails as of recently. Well, but first things first, Ryan, you
I've
can
been
continue.
always wanting to see that show, so we'll get into that when the topic shows up. And
That's awesome.
basically, you know, I think the third topic is a good idea as well, like what I've been doing during this
Mhm.
pandemic.
Yeah.
And,
All right.
so Keegan, you're gonna go first with your
All right. I'll go
first
first.
main topic today.
All right. First main topic is like of new video games that have come out. I've been wanting to like talk about like some of these things that I've been seeing as of late. Just pop. These are popular things, of course, that are just popping up on like my Instagram feeds and Facebook and stuff like that. When I've just been, I haven't really been on a lot of social media as of late. I don't think anyone really has been on a lot of social media lately, because it's just kind of boring, as it were. Now, that being said, I'm not one of those people that is fully engrossed on social media, if you know what I mean, because it's not a good idea.
Nope, it's not
But
a good idea.
I have. That's why we all need a break every now and then.
We all need a break.
But I'm growing a beard too. But anyway, I have seen a lot for Resident Evil Village. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I've seen a bit of it. Like, I'm not a big Resident Evil fan, but I like the older, like
Hmm.
Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 remakes.
Yeah, yeah. It's
They have been good.
the main thing I've been seeing about Resident Evil 8 is I saw the trailer. I know there was a demo. Um, but I'm not really like understanding it so far. I need to play the full game in order to understand it. You can't just throw me a demo. That's just me.
Well, I mean, it's like a tech demo. It's not the actual game.
Oh no no no! I mean, I saw gameplay footage of it, but it looks scary in my opinion,
Yeah.
but not as scary as Seven was. Have you played Seven?
No, I haven't played any of the Resident Evil games other than remake.
Okay, yeah. The stories are just basically of the original ones. They were viral
Yeah.
outbreaks and stuff like that. Um, Seven took a kind of another different direction for this franchise. it confused me a little bit, but I think eight's gonna go in that. I know Chris Redfield is in this, so that's awesome. But I wonder if this is the Chris Redfield that I know, or is he older and stuff? But yeah, of course, the main character Ethan Winters, he's back as well. We don't know his face yet. I'm kind of hoping we get to see his face because I actually want to see Ethan Winters actually a prominent character in Resident Evil to see like he still has what it takes to survive. Because he survived the horrors of 7. I mean, I'm kind of going off a little bit of 8 and going into 7 because most of my knowledge from Ethan is 7. Like in
Yeah.
the beginning of the game, you get your hand chainsawed off. How crazy is that?
That's pretty crazy, bro. Like,
I know. I'm like,
yeah,
what the fuck? And I'm just like,
yeah.
oh my god. I'm like, and then you can pick it up afterwards, but you can't like reattach it. And then later on, when you get knocked out, someone's actually you see someone actually stapling your arm back to your hand back to your arm. I'm like,
That's
how does
pretty
that
brutal.
work?
Yeah,
Like, yeah, you just staple your hand back on and put Neosporin on it. I'm like, what?
yeah.
I'm like, how does that work?
How does that work?
Yeah. Back to 8. Sorry if I went a little off track. I didn't
No,
mean to go
it's
off track.
alright. It's a podcast format. I mean,
Yeah,
we can talk whenever we want, bro.
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, the main villainess of 8, I forget her name. She's dressed very fancy. I'm pretty sure you've seen her, Ryan.
Yeah, like the
I don't
memes
know her
where
name.
people think she's sexy and everything.
Oh, yeah. I've seen some artwork already. Not bad artwork, really good artwork design wise. But this character I think is 8 feet tall. I think about the size of Nemesis, about the height of Nemesis. That's what I've seen.
I don't
That's
know
what people
because I
have.
haven't played
I
any
don't
of
know.
the games, but
But apparently she has like long fingers that turn into spikes as well on her fingers.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It reminds me of Lust from Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. And there are these like they're called her daughters from what I'm told. And apparently if you run into them, they'll bite you and they get like so I could be wrong about this. But it's like they're so addicted to your blood that they will chase you nonstop and just
Ooh.
bite at you. That's like terrifying. It's like I don't know how Resident Evil or Capcom has like not filed a lawsuit or anything like that, or no one's filed a lawsuit against Capcom for like having like a child play Resident Evil 7 or 8 and just like say, nope, too scared, this is gonna give me my kid nightmares or something like
Well,
that.
that's like our parents' generation wouldn't let us play like Grand Theft Auto and stuff when we
Oh
were
yeah, and
kids.
I can absolutely understand it. Like I'm kind of glad I didn't grow up playing like Grand Theft Auto. Like I start to realize now, like generation kids who have been playing like rated M games when they were like 6 or 7 years old, and the parents didn't care about it. To like me, for example, who grew up with parents who knew maturity wise, knew were smart enough age. I'm not saying that their parents were dumb or anything like that. I'm just saying like you didn't take an in-depth look of what game maturity means and stuff like that. Like a
Yeah, I
gore,
mean,
like
nowadays
more.
it's just like people don't care anymore about what their kids are playing, and that's an epidemic in this world now.
Like I remember in high school, I still like I couldn't play any Call of Duty games back
No.
then. I couldn't play any Call of Duty games. They were rated M, and they were shooters, and I didn't like really much shooters to begin with because it was the same. It was first-person shooter. I did play Destiny only because it was a bit different,
Yeah.
and I like the concept of it because I also played Halo
Well,
at my friend's house. But
plus
yeah,
that was a teen
Halo was
game, but
yeah
Destiny was teen.
Halo was a team game. Yeah. At Destiny, yeah, it was probably because there wasn't really any blood in it. There was just you were just basically fighting against other aliens and robots and stuff like that. Yeah, so yeah, that's kind of the difference there. Yeah, what I think.
But
I
anyway, not
think
to get off topic here.
not to get off topic or anything, but yeah, that's pretty much like kind of ridiculous in a sense that
Yeah.
that these younger kids are playing these rated M games now when they shouldn't be, because it's just going to really affect your life a little bit. Like playing Grand Theft, I've seen kids play Grand Theft Auto. I'm sorry if I'm getting off topic, but I've seen kids playing
No, no,
Grand Theft
no.
Auto,
Keep going.
and they don't understand what kind of like crimes, like going to a strip club, like they think that's all fun and joy, but they don't know that's actually a real thing and stuff like that.
Right, yeah, they don't understand what they're doing. And, like, I was kind of mad at it when I was a kid, but I thank my parents for not letting me play those things till I was like 18 or 19 or so.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there were some M games I had to convince my parents, because my father actually looked in depth into these games and he determined by the graphics, he says, "All right, I'll let you slide," and stuff like that. And they weren't really like good M rated design wise and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
mean, but anyway,
Hmm.
that's back in our generations and stuff. But yeah, back to Resident Evil 8.
Back to Resident
I
Evil.
think I
Yep.
think so far from what the map of what I've looked like, it looks like it takes place in another house, so that could be interesting. It is, and it's first person as well, so that could be very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
yeah, go
I'll
ahead.
take a look at it. I'll rent it or something. I'm not gonna buy it, but I might get GameFly again to like rent stuff. Cause like now,
Yeah, it's just like, what can Capcom do to make Resident Evil more terrifying, more scary? We've had one, which is good, remastered, which was good. We've had two, which was Raccoon City, the sequel, and it was terrifying. And the remake of two, absolutely terrifying. I loved it though. It was awesome. I beat the game. It was the first Resident Evil game I think I ever beat, because I studied the old one, played the old one, and knew the whole layout of the police station and everything like that. Even though it took me like 20 hours, I think, to beat it. I think it took like the fastest person to beat that game was like, I think, 2 hours, which I'm like, that's impossible.
yeah.
I still don't believe it's that impossible unless he cheated. Or now, being said, if he did do it in 2 hours and there's the proof, I'll be impressed.
It might have been like
But
speed running.
yeah, speed runners. I'm not a speed runner
Yeah.
all the time. Not if I don't know what I'm doing. If I don't know what I'm doing, no. But yeah, we do, and I do know from the trailer of Resident Evil 8 that they're apparently the main bad female character, who the 8 foot tall lady with the hat, I've said, um, she seems to be communicating with someone, and they know who Ethan Winters is. What does that mean, you think?
I don't know who Ethan Winters is.
Well, of course we don't know who he is. We think I think he's just an average guy who just got mixed up in this as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, from Resident Evil 7.
He's
But
like the new
apparently
protagonist of the game or something. I don't know.
I'm very very much afraid that this is going to go to like Outlast 2, where I didn't understand anything.
I haven't played Outlast 2. I played Outlast 1 with my brother.
Outlast 1 is Outlast 1's good. Outlast 1.
Classic.
It's a classic, but for its time, it was actually pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
And yeah, if we're talking about like good horror games as well, as like Alien Isolation is up there with it as well.
Yep.
But yeah, and but yeah, I've seen like the characters already for Resident Evil 8, like the sister characters. I've seen people cosplaying them, and they're not bad cosplays. They look really good and really scary and really terrifying. Like it's just the blood on the mouth. It's just like, what the hell? It's good makeup design. Don't get me wrong. It's great makeup design, great attention to detail and everything like that. Just from certain images alone, as well, you gotta be impressed with that.
Well, yeah. It's like any good cosplay, like a good Pennywise from it.
Anyone can do Pennywise.
Yeah.
Like if they can do it, if you can get the
The
general idea,
teeth
and if a
and
person
yeah.
knows who that character is, yeah. And you go.
Well, awesome.
Like if someone were to do, yeah, exactly. Like if someone were to do a yellow ninja, my first initial idea is Scorpion, because yellow was his color. He's a ninja, that kind of thing. But
Yes.
yeah, I think I'll close this one off Resident Evil style with all I know is that I think there was mention that Chris Redfield is in it. I'm not entirely positively sure myself. But if Chris Redfield does come back into the Resident Evil series, I'm wondering if it's going to be old Chris Redfield or a reboot of Chris Redfield's character. See where he goes for this. Yeah. All right.
Alright,
That's
dude.
been all right, on to you.
My first main topic today is, dude, we gotta talk about that Mortal Kombat trailer that just came out
Oh, we
yesterday.
so do.
We gotta talk
We
about it.
so do. It's up there. It's up there with Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's
It
Revenge.
was so
It's up
cool,
there.
dude. It's like,
So cool.
I wasn't expecting the amount of gore, but they said they were gonna have gore.
Yeah, it's a banned trailer from what I heard.
Yeah. I
Oh
wasn't
my god, like
expecting it.
I
Like, it's awesome. Like, everything looks really cool. And,
yeah, the
like,
only little oh, wait, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no.
I was gonna say there was only a segment from like the HBO when it was like HBO trailers and stuff. There was only a segment that I saw and it looked like it was Sub-Zero, but like oh my god, like when I saw the whole trailer, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Right ahead.
The only thing that I have against it is the new protagonist that is not the actual characters from Mortal Kombat. I don't know what they're gonna do to make him likable or anything.
If he's got like yeah certain abilities, we all know that the Mortal Kombat characters have like certain abilities. Magic plays a good role in Mortal Kombat stories, especially since Mortal Kombat 9 came up with a story and stuff like that. We do know Liu Kang's in it. I heard Liu Kang was in it, and he's got the fiery fists, and I love it.
Yeah, everybody's in it, like Liu Kang, Raiden,
Raiden's in it. Raiden looks
Sub-Zero,
good.
Scorpion,
Okay, we gotta like yeah have Sub Zero and Scorpion, man.
Goro.
Yeah, Goro. I was actually surprised to see Goro.
Yeah, Goro.
Yeah, he was actually such a surprise to actually see. Actually, he looked really good. And seeing Jax lose his arms, and then he gets the robot arms, and you're
Dude,
like,
that was the best part of the trailer. Like, I was
yeah,
like, whoa, they really did that.
yeah. I'm like, because I remember, I think first Jax in the first Mortal Kombat game that I ever saw him in, he he had his arm, but he had like and in the cartoon as well. They made a cartoon Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm. Jax had these metal like suits over his arms. They weren't robot arms. They were just like a kind of like an exosuit, as it were. And then in the reboot of the story Mortal Kombat 9, we know Ermac is the one who uses his telekinetic powers and just takes his arms off. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then later on, you see Jax with robotic arms, and it's like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was actually, I think we got a couple good shots in the trailer of him with the robotic arms, and they looked pretty good.
Yeah, the trailer was all amazing. Like, especially the Liu Kang fire dragon thing coming out of the ground. Like, yeah, that
Yeah,
was
I felt
awesome.
that was very reminiscent to Mortal Kombat, to one of his fatalities, because Mortal Kombat, in one of his fatalities, I think it's Mortal Kombat 9, he does transform into a dragon, and chomps his opponent in half, and then it's just fatality. That's it.
Cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty, yeah, that was awesome. I don't know about the story for it, like you said, like the mark, having the mark of the dragon, which
Yeah,
is
but they do that with every, like, video game movie. They have, like, a protagonist that you don't really know that's like, ooh, here are all these characters, and then there's some random guy that you don't care about.
either he's meant to be there to be like us if we were in the Mortal Kombat tournament, like watching it go on and stuff like that, or he is going to be a new character and like be drawn into it, which would be rather interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. We got Kung Lao back with his hat.
Yep,
Oh, it's so cool. I love Kung Lao.
so
He's
cool.
one of my favorite characters to play in Mortal Kombat X. I will get Mortal Kombat X and I'll play Kung Lao again. I always love that grab move when he grabs you, go leans you over, and then he punches you super fast like Hitman. Oh my god, such a good move.
Yeah, Kung Lao is my favorite in all the games. Like,
Yeah,
and Liu Kang. And
yeah. I've always been a Sub-Zero person just because I always played Sub-Zero. So
the one
I never
thing
knew it.
I hope they bring like the Mortal Kombat 11 characters or Mortal Kombat X characters into the movie, like
Mhm.
Aaron Black
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. Like, I want to see if we just saw one trailer and we know it's going to be in April. So I think they still could have a more roster of characters depending on how long. Now this is a movie, so compared to a video game, which a video game, of course, it's basically like doing a movie. You got a roster of characters. You're gonna make them fight and stuff like that. Could that be the same with this movie? You think?
well, I hope I'm hoping it goes well because we might get sequels and like Ermac in it and like more characters in it.
Yeah, an actual decent sequel as well.
Not Mortal Kombat
That's a big
Annihilation.
hate on the Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Almost as bad
I hate to
as
say that, but yeah.
Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh, that. Don't get me started with that. Don't get me started with that. I've got
Next
so much hate for that movie.
next podcast we may need to do a bad movie segment where we do
Oh
like
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
bad
definitely,
movie of the
definitely.
week and we talk
Oh
about
yeah,
it.
that would be good. Yeah, we've actually talked about it. Okay, off topic for a moment. There is one good movie that I want us both to watch if we can both find it. Reign of Fire. It's a really good dragon movie, and I think you'll love it.
Yeah, we'll do a collab on random movie night where we
Yeah,
watch that together. Also
yeah.
the also the Mortal Kombat Scorpion movie I have yet to see.
uh yeah,
So
yeah. We'll do like movie collabs. We're getting that together, guys. So don't worry about that. We're gonna get
yeah,
movie
we're getting the
collabs. We're
stuff
still working it
together,
out.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah, because still in the middle of the pandemic, of course. So that's causing us a bit of delay as we
And
speak.
he's working, I'm working in my own way, so
Mhm. All right.
um
So, do we have any more for Mortal Kombat, or
uh,
should we move to the next chapter? Other than like other characters that I think we've seen, of
oh
course,
like
the fight with Scorpion, and Sub Zero, obviously at the end of the trailer was
yeah,
awesome.
that
The
was
get over here,
awesome.
yeah.
With
I,
the
I gotta
Scarlet
say,
move where
oh
he
yeah, yeah,
like
I gotta say
takes the blood out of his body and stabs him with it.
that was a Sub Zero move right there because do you remember in Mortal Kombat like X and 9, or I think it's X, where he crushes your stomach, pulls it out and freezes it and makes it a spike and stabs you in the face with it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so, because it's all liquid. So, and he's freezing the liquid to absolute 0 degrees. So it's kind of creative in that way. But yeah, I'm like totally with you there. I'll say this. I don't like the voices. I'm wondering if they'll change that probably. I don't like the sound of the voices.
I
But
don't
I
like
do.
I don't like Scorpion's voice at all. Like
Yeah, I expected it. I was expecting Ed
the
Boon's voice because Ed Boon's voice
yeah, 'cause he's
because
in the games. Yeah.
Ed Boon always did the get over here. He always
That
did the get over here voice.
they might be like Sonic the movie and get backlash from the fans and like put that in.
Oh man, I've never seen that. Like seeing that. Like I'm hoping that doesn't happen to Mortal Kombat. I'm hoping they just change some minor things because remember, with the trailer, it's just meant to hype you up.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the final thing.
It's not the final
So
thing.
we could see. No,
So
we could see more. I'm thinking. I know Kano is like one of the. I don't know if he's one of the good guys or not, but I have a feeling he'll backstab them. If he's playing with the good guys, I think he'll backstab them.
yeah. And one
Just
last thing before we move on to your topic too. I hope they say fatality in this movie. If they do not, I'm
saying.
gonna be like missed opportunity.
Yeah. Or unless it's for us to say fatality or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But yeah.
anyway, on to your topic two. What is it, bro?
All right. So my next topic is new cartoons. Now this is these aren't anime cartoons. You guys may know me. I'm big into animation or Japanese animation or 2D animation and stuff like that.
Me too.
Talking Yeah, like Ryan and I were big into that stuff. I'm talking about American cartoons that were distributed by Hanna-Barbera Productions and Cartoon Network back in the day, like Boomerang and stuff like that. If you guys know what we're talking about or what I'm talking about, then good for you. If you don't, you better listen up. Because I'm
Oh,
talking.
I thought we were talking about like Yu-Gi-Oh and shit. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that also, yeah, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh that too. I want to talk about that too. But yeah, we'll talk about. We got a lot to talk about this because
we
I
had a
want to
lot
talk
to
about the
talk
really cool
about
things.
in this segment. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I got to go with one of the first ones I watched, which was on Toonami. We all
Yeah.
remember Toonami, right?
Yeah.
Well, Toonami's still a thing. It's just changing it up. But one of the ones I do got to talk about is Zoids. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, it's Zoids. And I'm pretty sure if we are doing this live as well, if we are doing a preview, I'm pretty sure we could like put it. They're mechanical combat units basically. They're basically just mechanical animals, but awesome mechanical. Basically, think of the Power Rangers Megazords,
Yeah.
but cooler,
Cool.
but cooler and awesome. But yeah, first one was Zoids, and first one I did watch I think was Chaotic Sentry. There's Chaotic Sentry, Sentry Zero, Fusors. Those were the only ones I think that were English dubbed. And there were Zoids Genesis, which was a new one at the time. It was never dubbed. And two more Zoids ones, I think, coming out. They're not as doing as well as Gundam. I think this was meant to be Gundam that came out as well. Gundam's another great one that I want to talk about as well, but especially Wing Zero. Oh my god, awesome. But yeah, Zoids. It took place on a different planet. It took place on Planet Z, and the Zoids, they were not just mechanical combat units, they were also a part of the planet itself. Basically, they were made with special abilities. There are people, and basically the ultimate premise of Chaotic Sentry was finding what the Zoid Eve was. Kind of like, basically think of like what Eve, the Garden of Eve is. Basically, that's what Zoid Eve is stuff like that. And it becomes this amazing journey. It's 50 episodes, I think 50 or more episodes, about 52 episodes. So it's a pretty good average anime if I do say so myself. Not like compared to One Piece, which is like I think a episode 1,000 already, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got really cool characters. It's got Van Flyheight. Cool name actually. He's got his Zoid's called a Liger, with it's a shield Liger. It's basically can produce a shield, and he loses it fighting his arch nemesis Raven, and Raven's Zoid is called a Genosaur. It's basically a mechanized dinosaur on steroids. It's like basically this thing is like I'll explain some of the Zoids, but the Genosaur Zoid has these two large guns on its back. It's crazy. It's got a nose gun, and the whole Zoid can be a weapon, Ryan. I mean, like this thing has like air ducts that pop out of its tail to cool down because the whole thing becomes a weapon itself. It becomes a charged particle gun, basically.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, basically, and and Van, he finds this female character. Of course, it becomes a very questionable anime because he finds this girl. She doesn't know her name. She doesn't know her origins. She's an ancient Zoidian, actually. That's what the basically kind of ancient Atlanteans, if you want to think of that.
Yeah.
So he sets out on a quest to find her lost memories and stuff. Basically, that's kind of the joy. But in the meantime, there's a middle of a war going on between the Gylos Empire and the Republic. Empire and Republic, eh?
Star Wars.
Yep, pretty much. I think that's where they got their
Yes.
reference from. I think that's where they got their reference from. I'm not quite sure myself for that reason, but it's pretty cool. And how they're using different Zoids and stuff for war and combat tactics. And ultimately the war ends and there's peace on the planet, and the Zoids, instead of becoming weapons of war and stuff like that, they use them for like, and that's what the sequel comes to. They use them for fighting competitions and stuff like that, which I think is pretty cool. And they fight over prize money and stuff like that. So you imagine like, I'll bet 1,000 we win this. And all right, your 3 Zoids are here, battle mode 09983, and like, all right, this team wins. They get the prize money. Congratulations on your victory, and stuff like that. It's all prize money too. So you gotta imagine how much money is going in to rebuild and repair these Zoids and all that stuff, all the upgrades you can make. Imagine how much money. A lot of this. Yeah, that's gotta be fun. But yeah, back to Chaotic Century, which is the first series. They were basically trying to stop as well a mastermind of the war, basically as well. He was awakening a ancient evil that had basically destroyed the ancient Zoidians. It was called the Death Soarer. And when you look at it, it looks like its form, its shape, it looks like Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like Godzilla, except without the spikes on its back and stuff like that. And it's basically got a charged particle gun, and it can annihilate. Like, they were fighting this thing like with everything they got. They had to fight this thing twice. They beat it the first time because it wasn't fully awakened. Second time they beat it, they had a hard enough time dealing with it because this thing was spreading its charged particle gun all over the world, destroying everything. I'm like, and they had to shoot one Zoid out of a huge gun, shoot right into the core to kill it. It was crazy. I was like, how crazy can this get?
Pretty cool. We're gonna have to do a reaction series on that.
Yeah, we gotta have to find Zoids.
Yep.
Or at least do like a review of an episode and episodes and stuff like that. But yeah. Anyway, next cartoon I want to talk about. I gotta go with some of my Hanna-Barbera stuff like that. I gotta go with respect for them. I gotta go with and this may be funny, the original Powerpuff Girls.
That was Hanna-Barbera? I didn't know that.
Yeah. If you watch like the ending credits of one of the episodes, it has the star logo of Hanna-Barbera. I'm pretty sure if no one knows what we're talking about, we'll look it up and we'll show you the video while we're in the middle of editing this as well. Like, we can look it up.
Dude, no way, cause I thought Hanna-Barbera was like Wacky Racers and like Huckleberry Hound and like all that stuff. From my dad's generation.
Yeah. Oh, from our dad's generation. My dad always talked about the Jetsons. Remember them?
Yes, the Jetsons. Very cool.
Jetsons, I think that was the first adult cartoon? One of the first adult cartoons.
No, the Flintstones was, because they had cigarette commercials in the middle of it.
Right. I forgot about the Flintstones, too. Yep. Flintstones was great, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, like, the first, Powerpuff Girls, the original, I think I watched the series first. Then I watched the movie, which was basically the prequel to the whole show itself.
Oh, dude, the movie was my shit back as a kid, dude. Like, I used to watch that all the time.
Same. I had my VGHS player, and I got that movie, and when I watched that, of course I knew the story of it, like, and stuff like that. The 3 girls, like, I was like, there was a lot of silence before in the beginning, but I was like, and it's definitely amping you up kind of thing. But imagine re-showing that movie in theaters. How cool it would be.
Yeah.
Because they had a lot of budget. Compared to the show, there was more budget put into that movie.
Like, where I live, they have, like, rewind movies, like, in my movie theater, like, from different decades and, like, everything. If they had, like, that movie, I would go see it.
Oh, definitely. That would
like,
be...
I
wouldn't care if, like, people are, like, bringing their kids to watching this, and they're like, aren't you a little old for this? I'm like, yeah, but this was my favorite show back when I was a kid. So
we grew up with it, so, yeah.
Yeah, Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup, they were all great. Even the villains were great. I think that was, like, one of the first cartoons that was kind of graphic with its fights as well. Like,
Yeah.
I remember in the opening when Buttercup actually kicks one of the villains, and you see blood and a tooth comes out. I'm like,
Yeah.
of course, as a kid, I didn't know back then. Of course, I think for like Mojo Jojo. Oh, I sang that name.
Mojo.
Oh, saying that name and hearing his voice. Oh my god, I can. Now I gotta watch this series again. I gotta watch it again.
We have
I
to.
gotta find.
We both have
Yeah,
to. Let's
yeah,
do a
we gotta.
reaction series on that one as well.
Yeah, we should do. You know what we should do? We should do a reaction to all the old opening cartoon openings of like
Yeah.
the 90 or late 90s to early
Early
2000s.
2000s. Yeah.
Yeah, we should do that because that was awesome.
That
And
was our shit, bro.
I, yeah, that was our shit
Yeah, that
as a
was
kid.
our shit.
Yeah, I think yeah. And then, did you actually know that Japan made a Japanese Powerpuff Girls?
No, I wanna watch that anime. Like, yeah.
Okay, okay. This was a while ago. This is back in the early days of me looking up YouTube stuff. This is back in me on YouTube early in the days when I was looking up music videos and stuff like that, getting my inspiration for a lot of stuff. I saw a video with they looked older and they looked like anime characters. I'm like, what is this? I'm gonna look it up. And it was called Powerpuff Girls with a Z added into it. So
Mm,
of course it's basically the same premise, just a little bit mixed up a little bit. But yeah, it's actually English dubbed as well, which is a good thing. So it's English dubbed, and it's been a while since I've seen it or taken a look at it as well. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
cool.
I
I
think there's
might have to take a look at that, bro.
yeah, it may be like okay. I think it. I'll compare it to Sailor Moon basically, even though Sailor Moon is good. But yeah, that's
I wanna
definitely.
see Sailor Moon. Like, that's one of my things I wanna watch. Like,
Oh yeah,
genuinely.
two of my favorite voice actors, and that's why always wanted to be a voice actor as well. I wanted to be a voice actor for cartoon characters and anime characters. Of course, I'm building up my voice library and stuff like that. I just don't have a good enough microphone to capture my full voice. Like you can have a microphone record your voice, and your voice doesn't sound like your voice, which is weird.
Yeah.
But that happens within the cases and stuff like that. But you experiment with that. You do little different voices, and even when I was doing acting classes, I learned to do Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've done Kylo Ren. I've done crazy people. I've done like and that kind of stuff. But anyway, back to this. Yeah, I would compare that Powerpuff Girls Z basically to what was I saying? Sailor Moon. Yeah, kind of like an alternate version of Sailor Moon a little bit.
Cool.
It's got some time travel in it, believe it or not, which is
Yeah.
surprising. But yeah, yeah. Back to the Powerpuff Girls. Like, I think, okay, who was your favorite villain in that series?
Um, Mojo Jojo, of course.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think without a doubt.
It's the
Who else do I
classic.
remember? He was the first one. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Well, who were the others? There was him, the devil-looking guy. I
The
hated his
lobster
voice.
guy, yeah.
Oh yeah, I hated that
He
guy's
looks.
voice. He sounded like he was like trying to be feminine, I think, and then it just turned into evil all of a sudden. I'm like, that's creepy. I think he was like supposed to be the devil or something. I think. Yeah. And then there's the Rowdy Rough Boys, which is just an evil version of the Powerpuff Girls, basically just boys versions. I thought like when I saw that episode, I was like, and when they defeated them, and Mojo was like, "Curse you, Powerpuff Girls," and then he was like behind jail bars. I'm like, you hear the announcer say, "Oh, Mojo, shut up." I'm like, wow, I cannot believe I remember them saying
It-
"shut up" in the
It's like,
cartoon
shut the
series.
fuck up, Mojo.
I know. Oh yeah, I would totally be saying that. I would say, "Oh, Mojo, shut the fuck up." I, do you remember? You remember a lot of times the announcer would be like the city of Townsville and like some kind of like random thing he would just say and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
the
forget. I forget who that voice actor is.
voice of SpongeBob,
Yeah.
Tom Kenny.
Oh yeah, basically, yeah, like the SpongeBob. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm thinking. Yeah,
Tom Kenny.
yeah, yeah. Tom Kenny. Oh, that's
Yep.
all right. So yeah, yeah. Powerpuff Girls is a good one. What's another good classic? Ed, Ed, and Eddie. How about that one?
I haven't seen enough to legitimately say
I
I've
think it's
seen
gone through
it,
like
but
Ed and Eddie's pretty funny. It's a lot of cell drawn animation. It's the intro's funny, but yeah, that was actually the first cartoon that my parents didn't want me to watch because of like all the things like one of them said Eddie, who was like the schemer, the scammer, and he's like Ed you monobrow, lumpy, and I think that's because they just didn't want me to say those things.
It was
As a
like
kid.
the Ren and Stimpy for our generation.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, still fun, still fun. Crazy World. I love the music. The music was pretty good for it. And I watched the Big Picture. I think it's Big Picture Show movie. They would always break the fourth wall as well. Double D broke the fourth wall a lot, and it was fun. But I think one of my favorite scams that they ever did. I got to talk about the scams they did. They did some pretty cool stuff. You got to admit. One of them was the El Mongo Stink Bomb episode. You
I
remember
think
that?
I remember that, yeah.
It was the big giant balloon stink bomb that they were gonna release to the kids, but something went wrong, of course, and oh my god. I can imagine if someone made something that would smell that bad and just released it to an entire cul-de-sac. That would be the worst thing ever. Oh my. I can just imagine it. Just imagine it.
I'm
Yeah.
really like, why would he pick Ed and Eddie and not like Foster's Home or like
Hang on. We're still going into those, but yeah. I just picked it in any because that was one of the
Flapjack?
ones I grew up watching as a kid. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. If there's one actually Cartoon Network show that I actually did finish, it was Chowder. Remember Chowder?
Oh, Chowder is the fucking best, bro. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Oh my god.
classic.
I don't know what made me love that show. Of the two shows, Flapjack and Chowder, I think Chowder had a better success. Flapjack was great in its own way. I love Flapjack. I know a friend of
Flapjack
mine.
is
He actually.
underrated, bro. It's like really good.
It's like, it's like, it's really good. It's like I'm not hating on Flapjack. I love Flapjack. It was fun. It was pirates, basically sailors and stuff like that. And it was just basically a censored version of pirates, except replacing rum with candy. Kind of, if you think about that.
Yeah.
Why is the rum? Why? And this is why people tell me why the rum is always gone.
Yeah.
You get that joke? You get that joke?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so proud of myself. I just thought of that too.
Candy
People have
wife.
always why is the candy always gone? How's that
Yeah.
one? Oh man. Would that make Candied Island if it was an actual adult cartoon? Rum Runners Island? Have
Yes.
rum
Yes.
like that? Oh my god. That's actually great. Now I don't know if anyone's ever thought of that idea.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty good idea. But yeah. Yeah, anyway, back to Chowder. First time I saw Chowder was when I think it was the first episode I watched, the Froggy Apple Crumple Thumpkin episode. That was when the animation was starting to get better and stuff like that. It was, of course, it was Chowder's first episode. So what would you expect?
I still remember the first time I saw it. It was the one where Schnitzel quits the
Oh
Mongol.
yeah,
Yeah. And
Mongol's Catering Company. Yeah,
yeah.
that
And
was
you
that was a good episode too. And then like Endive had this crush in him. I'm like, ugh, really?
and I
Really?
Yeah.
Excuse me. But yeah, I was like, wow, this is like something. I like Schnitzel. Schnitzel's one
Oh,
of my favorite
dude.
characters. I actually related a lot. I actually related a lot to Chowder, and that was pretty funny. I mean, I love all the fourth wall breaking moments. Like I remember one instance, Mungdal says, "Remember, everybody, if Mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, not even you." And he like points at the screen too. Like he points at you, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, really? That's something.
Um,
Or what about that one episode? What is it? Is it Tofu Town? I think it's when they went to Tofu Town, and it's basically Chisels dressed as Kill Bill, which is fun. And he's got a bologna sword. I'm like, wow, wow, this is turning into Kill Bill or something like that. because he was dressed like that. He like had the black hair and he had like forget her name from Kill Bill. Who had the yellow and black jacket.
The bride
Yeah.
from Kill Bill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kill Bill was an interesting movie.
Beatrix Kiddo.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and then Chowder would just look like a he just looked like a wrestler. But he was and then he was singing a version of Eye of the Tiger. Can you believe that? That was something. Yeah, he sung a version of Eye of the Tiger while Schnitzel fought like one guy. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then at the end of the movie, or at the end of the episode, I think these were like 15-minute episodes at that time, because they split
Yeah.
it. It was 30 minutes basically, but they were splitting like 15-minute episodes, which I think that's how original cartoons should go back to doing it, because that was more, there's more you could do in like 15
Yeah,
minutes.
but we wouldn't get things like Steven Universe or Star versus the Forces of Evil or Gravity Falls
Mhm.
or Phineas and Ferb with mo-
Yeah, those are. I mean, yeah, I don't really like. I'm not a big fan of those shows. Like,
I'm talking about like the more overarching like storyline like Adventure
oh,
Time and like yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, do we want to even like consider Adventure Time one of our childhood shows? I mean, depending on what time it came.
No, I stopped watching Cartoon Network around then like
Yeah, around that time, I did too. Adventure Time drew me away.
other than like regular show, which
hmm
is great.
Regular show was a really good one. I thought that was. It said regular show. It's anything but.
Yes.
That's the slogan I think they
It
came.
is
It's like,
anything but a regular.
I mean, it was anything. I mean, to be honest, it was anything but regular. It was not. It was completely irregular.
Yeah.
Like I think they did have an ending too. I think they had a proper ending for their series too. I think they
Yeah,
came
but
back like 20 years later.
I never watched like anything other than like seasons 1 through 4 was like the typical run of the show for me. Like all my favorite episodes are from the first
Uh-huh.
couple of seasons.
Yeah, I think it's so for me too. Like, yeah, if it's the first couple seasons, like, back to Chowder for a minute. There was one funny episode I remember where they ran out of money. They had a money box of all the savings money, and Mungdall's like, you know what this means, man? And he's like, you're not giving your delivery. He's like, no, worse than that. And he's like, your wife's gonna kill you when you found out you spent all the money. He's like,
Yes.
even worse than that. And he's like, even worse. I give up. What is it? He's like, no money means, and then it cuts, no animation, and it just cuts to the voice actors. And
Yeah.
I'm like, and they're all talking to each other. He's like, we got to save the show, but where are we gonna get the money to pay for it? Car wash. And they're like, I think we made enough to get the animation back. That was like one of the greatest moments. And I swear there's a clip on YouTube of that scene from that episode. It's the best. It's
Yeah.
one of the best episodes, I'd say.
I
Or
know.
I gotta rewatch. Man, now I gotta rewatch Shatter. I'm sorry, just talking about these.
It's on HBO Max, man. It's all
Oh, it
on
is.
HBO Max. Like Powerpuff Girls and like Charter and like Flapjack and all of our good shows.
You must have cut a deal with them or something. You must have cut a deal with them or
Well,
something.
Warner Brothers owns Cartoon Network.
Right. If we remember, yeah, Warner Brothers does own Cartoon Network, so yeah, that
Yeah.
does make sense. All right. Oh, you know what we haven't talked about? We haven't talked about any of the DC stuff that Cartoon Network had published. Um, they haven't Justice League. You remember Justice League?
Justice League,
Original
Justice
Justice League?
League Unlimited, Batman the Animated.
Oh my God! Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series. Oh my God! Like I think those.
Young
Yeah,
Justice.
Young Justice as well. Yeah.
Teen
Seasons
Titans.
1 and 2 technically.
Not
Teen
go.
Titans. Oh my God! Yes, Teen Titans. All the DC stuff. All of the DC.
Not
Stuff. All
go.
of the DC.
That is not a
What?
good show. Teen Titans
What?
Go is a sin
Oh no 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 no
to
no no!
Teen
Not
Titans.
Go. The original
Not
Teen
Go.
Titans. The
Yes,
original
the
Teen Titans show.
original.
That was good.
That was great.
Go, it's horseshit.
Horse.
I'll say that. It's horseshit. Oh my god!
It's for
I don't
little
know.
kids, and they won't know the majesty
I don't think
that
they won't know
is
what to
Teen
watch because
Titans,
it's DC.
the original.
Yeah, I gotta say, like that was my first like. Okay, if we're going in order, I think what we're going, I'll go in order. Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, Batman the animated series as well. Those things. Kevin Conroy was my Batman.
He is my Batman also.
He was our Batman at that time. I forget who does the voice acting for Superman. I liked his voice acting in that one, and for Wonder Woman as well. I forget who does her, but I know they got those original voice actors and they got them to play Injustice. I don't know if you know.
Oh, the Injustice people
Yeah, some of the
were
voice actors
the original.
are some of the original cast of like Superman, Wonder Woman, and of course Kevin Conroy's Batman.
Yeah,
Honestly,
of course. He does
yeah.
every Batman video game there ever is.
Oh my God, he is so. He's got a voice. He's just something about his voice. It's just makes you believe that I'm Batman.
Yes.
But yeah, yeah. I think I want to talk about Justice League Unlimited's great intro. That intro, I've heard that song reused in like some fan edits and stuff of the Justice League movie just to make it awesome and stuff like that. Oh man, it was just I cannot like talk about that without like bringing that up because that's just that I think that's probably at the time was the best intro sequence of any cartoon.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Teen Titans was pretty good though. It's a
That was a good
banger.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very catchy, very catchy.
That is a club banger.
Oh, it is. It is definitely. I gotta say this, like, yeah, I gotta say before we jump into Teen Titans, the original. I gotta say, this Aquaman in Justice League Unlimited had the best looking Aquaman. I'll say that.
What, you don't like Momoa?
Oh, I like Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa looks cool, but I gotta say, I mean, to be fair, if you put Jason Momoa in Justice League, that is pretty much what he could look like, except imagine him with a hook hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember from the original Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, but I remember that Aquaman, he, which was part of an Atlantis story in the original Justice League. He actually cut off his own hand to save his son. And I was like, wow, that's probably one of the darkest moments I've ever seen in DC. Yep. Compared to the stuff we see now, people straight up killing people in DC.
Well, if Zack Snyder had his way, we would have had people killing people in DC.
Oh yeah, I think. I could not like in the new 52 movies, which were based off the comics. They're going back to the original comics with those ones. We're going a little off topic for the new stuff. Those ones are pretty cool, but like seeing like a scene where I see Green Lantern's arm gets broken by Darkseid, I'm like, oh my God, that crack sound. Oh. And to be fair, I don't like that how.
I think we should save the animated movies for, like, the DC animated movies for another topic, because I want to talk about
yeah, definitely, my bad. Okay, on to Teen Titans, because we're talking about that. That show is the shit.
I haven't watched it, like, I've only watched a couple episodes, because my friend used to watch it when I used to go over there, but I wasn't really paying attention. Because I was doing other things, like having breakfast or something, but...
It was really good, Ryan. It was a really, really good show. It kept me on suspense. It drew my love for DC even more. I didn't know who these characters were I knew who Robin was, of course. I didn't know who Cyborg, Beast Boy, Starfire, and Raven were until they like actually fleshed out these characters a little bit more. And then I started reading comics about these characters. I'm like, holy crap, these characters are so cool.
Yeah, I gotta watch it.
Yeah, we gotta rewatch it. Maybe we can find a way on the DC app.
It's on HBO Max also.
All right, there we go.
Everything Cartoon Network is on HBO Max.
I gotta see if I can get HBO Max.
Everything.
Yeah, everything.
Samurai Jack. Everything.
Dude. Oh, okay. You know what? We're holding that. We gotta talk about Samurai Jack. Can we not talk about Samurai Jack?
I mean, I haven't watched it yet.
What? That was
My,
one of the
my entire
Shame.
life, I haven't watched it.
shame. I'm gonna shame you because you need to you need to stop this podcast right now and go watch it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, man. Samurai Jack. That was one way of actually censoring blood and stuff for that cartoon.
Until season 5, where they actually did
Until the final season where they actually straight up showed Jack killing people, which I was like, holy shit. I was glad they did that to end the season and stuff like that. But,
like the audience grew up with the show, so let's have fun now. That was basically what I kind of, like the showrunners were like, the audience grew up with the show. Now let's give them a little more adult Samurai Jack.
Yeah, let's give them something different. Let's give them what they probably wanted from Samurai Jack and probably a way to finish the series up and stuff like that.
But I want to talk about a couple of my favorite series from my childhood.
All right, go ahead, Ryan.
First one, the 2003 Ninja Turtles.
Oh, hell yes. Hell yes. Can I say
Yes,
that?
bro.
That was, I think, the best series. Had the best intro of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I love being a turtle.
Yeah, and watch out for Shredder.
Oh,
dude, I remember myself actually going back and watching that, and I was like, man, this is so cool.
I was like, I gotta
go back and watch.
Yeah.
I gotta go back and watch that.
I wish they would have like a Blu-ray set of the whole thing.
Oh, that'd be so much coding and everything to do, but I'd worth it. I'd pay them all of the money. To do that. Just to get that series out on.
That was my number one show back in the day when it was happening.
I think it was back on Nickelodeon.
It was Cartoon Network also, but
Cartoon Network. I think it was Cartoon Network, yeah. And then the newer series is like switched to Nickelodeon, if I'm correct.
Yeah, and now Nickelodeon owns the 2003 series. So.
Why?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Nickelodeon has a streaming service yet.
They have like.
Wait a minute. I may be thinking because they have SpongeBob has Paramount, so yeah, I'd say. Kind of know.
CBS.
I do know.
All Access.
Right, so that would make sense.
The new Paramount Plus is gonna have a lot of that.
Yes, from what I've seen of the trailer from the Super Bowl as well, it's gonna have the 2003 Ninja Turtles because I saw Leonardo, who was in that original style.
Yes, I'm gonna get that. Day one, I'm gonna watch the entire series.
I think I'm just gonna get Paramount Plus just to watch that and just cancel my prescription after that.
Yes.
Just get that and it's like, yeah, that's it.
Y'all don't know how hyped this series is, bro.
This started a big generation for a lot of us TMNT fans because it brought the toys, it brought the action music.
It had the best Casey Jones out of anyone.
Yeah. I'd say that is the best Casey Jones ever. Yeah. Casey Jones was awesome.
The best Turtles of any incarnation of anything ever.
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely, without a doubt.
Including the Michael Bay movies, but we'll get to that in another
we'll get to those
podcast.
Later, yeah. We'll get to those later, like when we have some bonus stuff to talk about after the podcast and stuff like that. But yeah. Okay, so yeah, TMNT is your first choice. What's the next one?
uh, Transformers Prime.
Ooh, that's a good one. Transformers the series. I didn't think about that. God damn it. Should-
Prime, no, not
Um.
Transformers animated, not.
Oh no, animated. Animated was more for the kids. I think when the movies came out, because it was for the younger generation, going
I'm
back to the
talking
younger generation.
about that Discovery Hub CGI
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
show.
Oh, yeah,
That was the
definitely. I know
bomb, dude.
I know what you're talking about. That one I think was the true Transformers series that should have been based off the movies. Because
Yes, that was.
I yeah, they had the original voice actor for Optimus Prime. They had Megatron who looked terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I think the first episode when Megatron says Decepticons, I have returned, and you just see his face in that frame. It's just oh my god. I've never been more afraid of Megatron ever.
Yeah, it was like, now I'm hooked.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was a rather interesting. I think it played a little bit more into the Cybertron games as well, a little bit kind of. It
Yeah,
feel like it did to me.
yeah,
Because I love the Cybertron games. I think it was one of the first Transformers series that was giving actual lore what happened on Cybertron. Stuff like that.
yeah. And they've tried ever since to make another animated series like that. Like with the new anime that's out on Netflix and
Oh,
everything
and that
that
was
I
done by
haven't
Rooster Teeth.
seen.
Yep.
Yep.
That was done by Rooster Teeth, supposedly. I have yet to watch it, but if it's being done by Rooster Teeth, I've got no doubt in my mind that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, because Ruby is awesome. Though
Mhm.
we'll return to that.
Yeah,
Uh,
we'll return to that in a minute.
yeah, we'll return to that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, back to Prime. I want to talk about Prime for a little bit if you want to talk
Yeah,
about it for a little bit.
yeah,
I
'cause
know
it was.
yeah,
So,
Steve Bloom plays Starscream. I don't know if you know that.
yeah, Steve Bloom played Starscream. Peter Cullen played Optimus Prime, as we all know.
Yeah, Peter Cullen, our boy. Oh,
Peter
I love Peter
Cullen.
Cullen. Of all the voice actors I look up to a lot to practice my voice acting, it's Christina V, Peter himself, Steve Bloom, obviously, and
And
Tara Strong.
Hamill.
Those are my big, and Mark Hamill. Yep, definitely Mark Hamill as well for my crazy expressions. I don't do a lot of voice acting right now. I'm actually planning to do some original ideas with animation on my channel with voice acting and stuff. Hopefully,
Go
fun.
subscribe to
Anyway,
Geeks Cosplay and Art, my dudes.
yep, I'm actually doing some pretty cool stuff. Actually getting to more animation stuff, which is pretty cool. But anyway, back to topic of Transformers Prime. I think it was rather interesting that the Transformers weren't. I think in every series of Transformers, they haven't been like other than animated, which they've been shown to the world who they are, robots in disguise and stuff like that. If this one keeps it like low profile, like I would have to say this Earth is probably not late 2000s. It's probably because there was countryside. There was a lot of open battles that we saw in Transformers Prime and stuff like that. So my thinking is that Earth technology and stuff like that, excuse me, have not gone above and beyond as it is today. I'll say. I'll say it's probably like early 1900s or something. What do you think, Ryan?
Yep.
I mean, as far as setting for the world goes, like, I mean, there's motorcycles, there's cool cars and stuff like that because they can transform into cool cars and stuff like that.
Oh, you mean like the
Yeah,
Prime show or like the
the
original
Prime
show?
show,
Okay.
yeah, the Prime show of where
I
the
think
story of
it's
that
like
Earth.
early 2000s maybe. Because it came
Yeah,
out
maybe.
then.
I mean, as far as the world in the world is like, because the Autobots are, and this one was dark too. If we're going to Prime, it's dark. Like the first episode was very dark. Like Cliffjumper, one of my favorite Autobots, he gets he gets stabbed through the heart by Starscream. Spoiler alert: he gets stabbed through the heart by Starscream. I'm like, oh my god, this is what are we watching? And then after he dies, Starscream says, "Clean that up." I'm like, wow, what a dick thing to say. Oh my god, yeah. I
Yeah.
think Starscream's design was kind of a combination of his old by the way it looked,
A-
body wise.
And the movie?
Yeah, in the movie. I feel like that was kind of what they were going for because he had the missile arm, of course. He still had his gun, his hand that can transform into a gun, but he had those claws. And I was like, where did these claws come from? Is he Freddy Krueger or some shit?
Wolverine?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And then they started releasing, and it's kind of interesting how they were like releasing characters and stuff. Like, of course, we know the war for Cybertron lasted like eons and stuff like that. So Autobots and
Ew.
Autobots were leaving the planet when Cybertron died, basically, and it couldn't support life. So Autobots, refugees. So basically, if we're thinking about it, there are refugees across the galaxy that we haven't seen. Like, I'm glad we brought Cliffjumper because Cliffjumper was actually one of my. He's a wrecker. He's one of my favorite looking Autobots because he looks like his old design. If you look, he's got the face mask. He's got these two swords. He's a wrecker, man. He's awesome.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
basically, they're the black. Basically, the wreckers were the black like, and how they say in the show, Black Ops. They were the Black Ops group. They did themes. They did jobs no one would ever come back from. Stuff like that. But yeah, I think yeah. I really liked RC in this series. What do you think?
Yeah. I liked
I feel like
everybody.
yeah, I liked all the Autobots. I like B. I like there's something I want to say about RC. I'm kind of glad they didn't make her pink, but I'm kind of glad they also reference in the show um, what she used to look like or what her old color scheme was, which was like I think the line is if I had to choose an alternate color, I think I'd be pink because Bumblebee he changed his color from straight up yellow to black and yellow, and I think the final season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I gotta I gotta say, like, I think Megatron was like so terrifying. He was like a gladiator, but he was so terrifying.
Yeah, I liked
He was,
Megatron in Prime. He was my
yeah.
favorite villain out of the whole thing.
Mhm. Oh, he was not dumb. He was probably, I think, the smartest out of every Decepticon. I think he was pretty smart because, I mean, if we think about it, he is the Decepticon warmonger. He has started the war. You
He
think
was
about it, so
kind of
I don't.
like the Shredder of that show. Like,
Mhm.
everybody was idiots compared to him.
Oh yeah, and they always wanted to double cross him
Yeah.
too. I don't think there was one scene where like yeah they went behind Megatron's back and like yeah we're gonna double
Th-
cross him and stuff like that. I'm
They
like
were
oh
like
man
idiots.
yeah one of my favorite episodes was Patch and Megatron's talking to Starscream and he's like yeah you're welcome back but we all need to be keep our heads clean knockout and he looks at the screen right at knockout he's like oh Megatron knows how to patch things up so to say hey Dreadwing and Dreadwing's gone of course. I gotta say, one of my final favorite arcs was the Predacon arc. I
Yeah.
love the Beast Hunter Predacons, especially Predaking. Oh, he was so cool. I wanted to see more Predacons. I was gonna hope that the Predacons were gonna be a third faction. Predaking was gonna take over the Predacons and like have his own faction as well on Earth. I'm like, that would have been a cool thing. But no, in like the new series, Robots in Disguise, they straight up killed them off. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? And that leads into the sequel series, which is Robots in Disguise, which I kind of like. I like the animation, and it's a little bit more kid friendly, of course. Obviously meant to be. Obviously, it's meant to go back to the roots of what Transformers meant to be: robots in disguise. Also, like having Bumblebee stepping up to the plate as well for that series, which was pretty cool because he was being kind of not be a prime, but like be an example for prime and stuff like that. I think.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays I would like a more darker Transformers animated show.
Mm-hmm.
Like for teenagers, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Prime is that good example of what we want as a
Yeah.
Transformers series.
It's what we needed at the time, and it's what all Transformers shows should strive to be. And
Hmm.
that's why it is my number two pick.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's a great pick. Got any
N-
other picks? Any honorable mentions?
Now, my number three pick, which needs no introduction. I've only seen a couple for like a year ago, and that is
Hmm.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, without a
It
doubt. I can't
needs
believe I
no
forgot that one.
introduction.
No, no,
Like,
absolutely not. Not even the butchered movie. I'll say that.
we don't talk
I
about
mean,
that.
don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that.
Don't talk about that. Oh yeah, I'll add to that and say Legend of Korra as well. Legend of Korra is a pretty great sequel to it.
Now, I have people that are like, I hate it, and I have people that are like, I love it.
Hmm.
So we gotta do a reaction series on both of those shows.
Yeah.
I think, or watch
It's on
along.
Netflix. It's on Netflix, so we can watch it on
Yeah.
Netflix and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I gotta say, like Avatar, I thought it was when I first saw it, I was like, this is a really, really cool show. It's like an American made anime almost.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's a good project. It was absolutely great. I think Dave Filoni, the man himself that you and I know, who
Yeah.
is a Clone Wars.
Mandalorian and Clone Wars.
And oh my God, I can't believe I butcher myself because I forgot to mention this show that we'll talk about later, Clone Wars,
Yep.
because I got to mention that. But yeah, back
Still
to Avatar.
working my way through it, by the way.
Oh, you are.
Yep.
I watched all the series, man, even the final season.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Avatar. Yeah, Avatar was really cool. The concept of it I thought was really interesting with these bending abilities and stuff like that. Earth, wind, fire, and water, based on the four elements. It makes sense, and I love the like technique and form. Like you see like the firebenders, the way how they hit their fists, and you see fire come out of it and stuff like that. It's like an interesting form of fighting, and you see like water. It's like a very like mystic kind of look to it, and you see
Yeah,
wind
like,
when Aang does it as well. Like it's absolutely a mind blowing idea when you think about it. In terms when you look at it from a different perspective, from an audience perspective, cool. Looking at it from an animator's perspective, it's very very different.
yeah, mind bending, game changing show
Mm-hmm.
for animation.
Mm-hmm. And then
Um,
of course I started seeing like something about Legend of Korra. I'm like, what is this? It looks like Avatar. Is this a sequel or something? And then I finally got a chance to watch it, and I'm like, oh, it's a sequel to the Avatar series. Okay,
yeah,
I love Avatar, but I'll see what this has got. And it's just a drastic upgrade from Aang, how he fought the Fire Nation War, and now he's basically the nations are working together, built this city, Republic City, and I would say that the technology is like kind of like steampunk, but still relying on bending
yeah. I'm
abilities.
interested in watching Quorum. Like,
Oh,
I
it,
would be
it's
down for that.
it feels like a steam. It feels when you go through the city, it feels like a steampunk kind of look, which is I think is really interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Some of our favorite episodes. You want to list them?
Let's see. I think. Oh, you know what? My favorite episode of Avatar has always been the final battle when Aang is just has all the elements around him. He goes Avatar state. He's battling the Fire Lord. I got to talk about that fight because I studied that fight. I
Yeah,
studied the hand drawn animation fighting for some of my stuff that I'm doing now. That I show like little clips and tidbits. Some of it was actually I learned from watching that and like how it was drawn,
hmm,
how it was animated. It's just such a mind blowing experience. Like you can just like even though it's just like on a piece of paper, it's like how DreamWorks did Spirit's horse animation.
yeah.
It's just a mind blowing experience. Like
It's it's a
I think,
good show to marvel at its animation. Like, wow, this is really good animation.
mhm. Like I don't know who the animation company was who did it at the time with Nickelodeon, but they did a really good job. I got to find them again because I gotta follow them because they're really good at what they do.
And like it will go down in history as one of the best um shows ever. Like
Oh yeah, definitely, my opinion. I
in
agree with you right
anything.
100% there, Ryan.
And like my couple of favorite episodes is the second to last one where they're at the play of what the recap of what's happened so far. Like it was
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
very meta
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah,
uh,
that was really good.
and
That
breaking the
was a
fourth
really good
wall.
episode. Oh yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. And the most legendary episode is Tales from Bossing Say because
Oh, that's good.
that yeah, it makes me cry every time.
Yeah, I'm like, I think I there. Yeah, you know what? There was one episode I will recall that actually did make me cry. It was when I think Iroh, Zuko's uncle, was singing under a tree. I'm forgetting the episode
Yeah, that's
title.
Tales of Bossing Say. That's the
Tells the
episode.
boss they saying, "Yep, that's the
Yeah.
one." Oh my God, man, like there's just something about like foreign tributes to people. Like you want to remember them like Japanese tradition and Chinese tradition, kind of like that. How they remember the dead sometimes is like it's like it doesn't just leave, what can I say, an impact. It feels very strong, and I like that.
And it stays with you.
And it does, and
Like
I feel like
that scene will stay with me forever. Like
mhm.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I agree
If
full-heartedly, 100%. That
if you
scene.
watch the show, you know what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, if you guys know what we're talking about, we won't even put up a clip or anything like that. We'll let you guys watch it so we can see your reaction to that.
Reactions.
Because
Yeah.
it's not just that we're fans of it. It's just you have to marvel over a scene like of how many shows you watch and stuff to notice the differences and stuff.
And what stays with
And
you
that
and what
episode actually
doesn't.
takes the cake.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like
And it's a good one.
it's really good. Yeah. Like best animated series of all time.
Hmm. Yeah, I'd say it's up there.
Eh,
I kind of wonder what would happen if a Japanese company actually animated this. Would they do the same thing that we've seen today, or would they have done something a bit differently, you think?
I think it'd be more anime-y. Like
Yeah,
My
I think
Hero
so. A little bit, like
Academia.
depending on the ages. Yeah,
Yeah.
not to say that that's bad, but that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's been
anyway, my topic too. Sorry to
All
get
right, back to the
on a
topic.
tangent there, but I had to, since you did
No,
your
no, it's all
three
right.
or four, I had to do my three or four shows.
Yeah.
My topic two
Oh yeah, yeah,
is
yeah, absolutely, man.
what shows have we been watching recently?
All right, want to go first?
Yeah, my first show, I've been watching WandaVision.
A little bit, guys, because we are having a little technical difficulty issue. So, unfortunately, for the live podcast, we're gonna have to do this pre-recorded in case you guys know. But in case you guys are just tuning in to our podcast, we've been going for about hours now, and we've been talking about
Different
our
things.
favorite cartoon shows, our favorite video games, and stuff like that. But anyway, we are jumping on to Ryan's next topic, which is shows that we've been recently watching now. So I think without further ado, why don't you go
Yeah,
ahead, Ryan?
I've been watching WandaVision on Disney Plus. I don't know if you still have
I've been
Disney
hearing good
Plus,
things about
Kian,
that show.
but it's really good. The first two,
My Disney Plus expired.
the first two episodes are kind of hit miss, but season are episodes 3 through
Mm-hmm.
now are really good. And it's been like a
Okay,
month.
yeah. I've seen some memes. I've seen some memes of Wanda and Vision and in their old outfits.
Yeah.
But I thought like, okay, they're in their old outfits. That's pretty cool. I like Vision in that, but I don't like Wanda doing that.
Yeah, that was the
But yeah,
Halloween episode when they were in the comic costumes. Um. Anyway, we lost Keegan again. Shit.
okay, it's
Keegan,
back.
you back? Um.
I'm back.
Yeah. So as I was saying, like the costumes that they were wearing in the Halloween episode, the old outfits that you were talking about, that was them dressing up for
Mhm.
Halloween. And
Yeah. That would make sense.
you haven't seen
I haven't
it,
seen it. No.
so I'm not going into spoilers, but
Oh.
it's a good
But I
show.
pretty much know who Wanda and Vision are, so yeah.
And if you ever
Yeah.
get your Disney Plus again, you're gonna have to watch it, and
Yeah.
we can talk
Definitely.
about it.
Definitely. That's definitely on my list for my Disney Plus. But yeah.
Another one I just binge watched is the anime The Promised Neverland,
That's a good one, actually. That's a good one you're watching.
season one. It was
That's
really
a good
good.
one.
I could not put it down.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really interesting.
Yeah. Um. Overall, it was like really good, really like spooky, kind of like the alien. If you have not, guys, if you have not seen Promised Neverland, spoiler alert, click away
What are
now.
you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing watching our podcast?
It's one
Pause
of the
right
best.
now. Go watch this shit.
It's one of the best animes of the modern era.
Yeah, this era, I'd say it's one of the best
Yeah,
ones releasing of its time. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Yeah. I think
It's
I've actually got one show, if you wouldn't mind.
yeah.
Attack on Titan season 4. I've been watching.
See, I haven't seen any of Attack on Titan, which is the same.
Yeah, that's right. I won't go into spoilers very much, but the final season is out right now, and it's been out. It's already been out on Japanese, but I'm watching it dubbed just because I want to hear how it sounds dubbed. I basically know it anyway because I basically have read spoilers. I've read all the comic
Yeah,
or the manga, I should say.
you read all the
I'm
manga.
one. I'm one of those people, and I know what's going to happen. So I will not spoil it on this as honor of my word, and I'm not. Here's the thing as well. I got to tell you this, Ryan. Right when season 4 came out, my Wattpad account, where I'm writing a story, writing a Attack on Titan story, that's basically basically a character like you going through the events of Attack on Titan and stuff like that. It blew up with popularity. It blew up.
Yeah.
I'm talking like, I've got like, I think by the time we're doing this, it's got like 61K reads. 61,000 reads.
Cool. I might have to read that on my own. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like I've just finished chapter 50. Working on 51. It's 50% done right now. Yeah, that one's done, and I was surprised of how much people were liking my story when I wasn't even updating. Because here's the thing: I stopped at a certain point because season 4 was about to come out, and I didn't want to spoil shit for anyone.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So were you basically just recapping the story of Attack on Titan?
When I watched it, yeah. Basically, I'm just kind of recapping season 4 of what I've read through the manga.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But however, I wanted to watch it because I heard that by looking at the trailer and stuff, before I knew it wasn't animated by Wit Studios, the company that did previous 3 seasons.
1 through 3. Yeah.
Yeah, they did 1, 2, 3. So when we watch season 4 together, you will notice the difference. It was done by a studio called Mappa.
I've heard of Mappa because I watch the Anime Man on YouTube.
Yeah, they do. Mappa does a couple interesting stuff. Apparently, from what I read, an article, don't misquote me on this, like I could be wrong about it, but no one else would take up this project. Wit Studios, I don't think they wanted to do it for some reason. I don't know why. I feel like it still would have been beautiful if they did it. But Mappa is not disappointing me, actually. They are actually done a really good job of designing the characters, designing everything. It feels like everyone has taken their time and done it right, and I'm really liking the choices that they're making with this.
Hmm.
Yeah, like it's honestly not disappointing me. But the only disappointment I will say is the opening. The opening doesn't feel Attack on Titan-ish. It feels very World War II inspired. And I'll say this when I add this. Someone posted that opening of Attack on Titan season 4 and posted an edit version of that with some footage of World War II in that, and I'm like, that's not that far off.
Of
It's
course,
that's what
the
it felt like.
first season's opening is a classic. Like, I still
Yeah.
go back and watch it.
Oh, go back and watch it. Listen to the song. The song
Yeah.
is one of the best songs in my opinion. It's on my playlist. One of my
Yeah,
favorite songs.
me too.
Yeah, I know the lyrics, but I still like listening
Do,
to it in
do, do,
Japanese.
do,
It just
do.
sounds cool.
Yeah.
Sounds cool in Japanese. And but yeah, that's what I've been recently watching. I've been watching Son of Blood of Zeus. Have you watched that yet, Ryan?
Oh, dude, I want to see that. I
I've
want to.
I think it's only got 8 episodes right now, a season. It's only got one season right now. It could have a multiple seasons, I don't know. But it for playing God of War and me mostly studying Greek and stuff like that, I was curious. I was curious about another Greek story of gods of Olympus and stuff like that. And it's been interesting so far, so I'm not going to spoil too much for Ryan because he hasn't seen this.
Is it good?
It's good. It's
Is it
animated beautifully.
is it
It's
worth my
beautifully.
time?
It's worth your time.
Mm. Okay. Cool.
I would say so because it's animated 2D. It's yeah, it's animated 2D. It's basically kind of like Avatar a little bit, but it's got a lot of gore, which you might love.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
Go.
brutal killings. Manticores, and of course, knowing anything, it's got gods of Olympus. It's got Ares. It's got Apollo. It's got all the gods. It's got Poseidon. It's got Zeus, who is our main god in this era,
Yeah.
and of course, it's pretty freaking cool. The story is pretty cool. I'd say that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been
I'll
watching that on
definitely go and
Netflix.
watch that.
Yeah, yeah. All right, now that I've done 2 shows, it's your turn again. Yeah.
So I've been other than those two things, except for this one anime called Vanguard Card Fight, which is on YouTube.
I've heard of it. Yeah, yeah. I've heard of Card
It's
Fight
really
Vanguard.
good, dude. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh, but more
I've seen
like
a couple of episodes.
adult, not adult, but like more not Yu-Gi-Oh-ish.
Yeah, not Yu-Gi-Oh ish, but yeah, it's. I'll say it sparks my interest. I just haven't gotten back into it. I'll
We
admit that. I just haven't gotten back
we
into
will
it.
have to do a reaction series on that because I want to do one. So
Probably.
I'm
Like,
gonna
yeah,
do it.
if we can get away with it without being monetized by the respected owners and stuff like that. But we'll, as long as we stay like within the 10-minute reactions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, I feel like if we can do that, we'll
Uh,
be okay. Stuff like that. Because when we to let you guys know when we do our reactions to like trailers and stuff like that, I think very hesitantly about it because it's not that I don't want our content taken down. We're also watching someone else's property technically.
yeah, me too. I don't want to do reactions anymore because of that. Like, hopefully we get Keegan back. I don't know why this is happening, Honestly, I'm sorry. Fuck. Keegan, edit this out. I'm gonna recall him again. I'm still recording. He can edit this out later. Fuck, is my like internet down? What the fuck? I still want to do topic 3, but I'll pause it again. I'll pause it again. I gotta go to the bathroom anyway.
Yeah. Hey guys, so we stopped the reaction for a little bit just because we had some stuff that we needed to fix and stuff like that before jumping back into the podcast. Like we totally forgot, so that's on us. But I'm pulling
Sorry
a Jack
about
Sparrow,
that.
so yeah, I'm pulling a Jack Sparrow, so yeah, an excuse that's on us. But yeah. But anyway, back to what I was saying about putting videos up on like our reactions and stuff like to series and stuff like that. We're not big like Blind Wave, how they react to a lot of series and stuff like that. Um, and they of course do the 10-minute things and footage like say, hey, you can do this, but you got to put it up like within the guidelines and stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Aside from that, so Ryan and I have been kind of hesitant to kind of upload shows as like that, and I've told him my idea about it, and we kind of have an understanding about that and stuff like that. We don't want to have our channels ruined because of that. Like if one goes, the other one suffers and stuff like
Or
that for
like
us.
we can just do like a watch along where we don't show the actual
Yeah, like the timer
footage,
code.
but
Yeah, like the timer code. That's a good way to do that.
we like, hey, watch along with us. So
Yeah,
that's our
yeah,
idea
like
for
we
that.
can do like. Yeah, that's what I've seen a lot of people do is like people will put up a timer code and like you can sync up your own version and watch along with us. There you go.
Yeah.
That could work. That could work. And then we'll just put up like a timer code in the description for when we start and when we finish
But our
of the
thing
timer
is,
code.
we're not big, so we're not getting monetized. So
Yeah.
basically, what happens with that is, I don't care if I get copyright claimed because
Mhm.
I'm not getting paid.
Yeah, exactly. So and we don't we hope to God we don't be paid for like other people, for example, who make Patreons and stuff. I don't know why people make Patreons and stuff.
What, you don't
Either
want
people are
to
desperate for
make a
money or
Patreon?
just yeah, yeah. Like no, it's not worth it in my opinion.
I've,
I
I've
got a
been,
good job going. I got a good job right now. Got a good pay right now.
well, you, but maybe
Yeah.
not me, but anyway.
Well, hey, same. It goes a long way. Part of my money goes to our budget of our project. So, yeah. But anyway, back to shows we were watching. I have
Yes.
actually one. I'm in deeply in season 2 of. Actually finished season 2 onto season 3 of 4 seasons is Black Sails.
Yes.
Stars a series.
And I've been wanting to watch the show for years now. I heard it's like a pirate Game of Thrones.
Yeah, basically it is a pirate Game of Thrones, but basically it's a prequel to Treasure Island from what I was told when I first started it.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know anything about some of those pirates, but I do hear there were some real pirates that were actually used, like Charles Vane, Jack Rackham, and Bonnie, who have awesome character designs in this series, and some characters that I don't know. So and like James Flint, if you guys know Captain Flint, the most feared of all the pirates, he was Blackbeard. They say Blackbeard was like a baby compared to him. That's how ruthless he was. Show
Mm.
does show it because that actor does a phenomenal job. That actor does
Mm.
a phenomenal job. Of course, they have John Silver in it. Anyone knows John Silver is Long John Silver and stuff like that. Peg leg.
Oh yeah,
There,
Long John Silver's.
yep, that's
They
who
have
he
good
is.
fish.
They do.
Good fish.
Yeah,
I was just
and
making
of
a
course.
joke. It failed.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I got it. Yeah, that's another that's a good live action show. It's on Stars. I've tried to see if it's on any other series I could watch it on, but no, it's just Stars so far from what I
Yeah.
can tell. Like they do Stars also does Spartacus, I believe.
And
Spartacus is another good one.
many other good shows like Power and stuff.
Oh yeah, from what I hear, yeah.
But
But yeah,
that's more
one
like
of the
my thing, you know, from
oh
the
yeah.
streets of New York and,
Oh yeah.
gangs and violence and stuff. So,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, all that stuff. That's I don't want to make too much of a critique about that, but yeah, I agree with you there because I don't want to get any backlash from gangs or anything. But anyway, yeah, all good shows. Go if you guys haven't seen Black Sails yet, go watch it on Stars. It's awesome. It's an adventure. It makes you on an adventure. It's got pretty much what you want: booty, literally. I mean that literally,
Booty.
and gold, and ship stealing, and barbarian pirates.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I'm gonna watch it.
okay. Yeah.
My
So,
last one is something I've been watching more recently, and that is the classic CW show Smallville
ooh, that's a good one.
with
I've yet to watch that one.
Superman before he was Superman. It's basically like
Yeah.
a teen drama like Riverdale, but it gets better as the series goes on.
That's awesome.
But it's
Yeah, I gotta
Superman.
watch Smallville. Yeah, that's awesome.
Uh, Probably a watch along series, probably another one we have to do.
Probably, yeah, I'll add that to the list. Things we can do once we get like closer together and stuff like that.
Um,
It's
and
a
yeah,
button.
that's about all we've been watching.
Yeah,
How
that's
about
pretty much it.
Keegan, you topic for your last topic for today?
All right, my last topic for today is something like what I've been doing like so far. Why you guys have been probably wondering. Like some of my YouTubers, there's like not many of my subscribers. I only have like a couple, like 8 subscribers and stuff like that. But I've been slowly like building my channel up and stuff like that.
Wait, you have
Like
8 subscribers?
yeah,
That's like we need to get him more subscribers. Go
yeah, we need to get
subscribe.
more. Yeah, like I'm trying to monetize myself, or not monetize. Um, the word to use. I show myself out there and stuff like that. Of course, I have an Instagram. I just don't think a lot of people are on like social media and stuff these days right now and
Yeah,
stuff like that because of well, I of course the coronavirus pandemic and stuff like that. I've been keeping up to date with that too as part of being an essential worker. I work for a grocery store. I'm not that. I wouldn't say I'm that essential compared to doctors and nurses who are more essential than me.
it's still
I would
essential
say.
because we need to get food and things. So
Well, yeah, Publix has always been good. In case you guys don't know, I do work for Publix. I'm not a big employee at Publix, but I've been there with them for almost 2 years. I get the job done and stuff like that. Um, yeah, in Publix, I can honestly say 2 years from now, I think it was a great choice that I think it was a good choice that I made join Publix. I met
mm,
some good people. I thought I wasn't going to fit in, but it turns out I fit in with a lot of these great people. We have a lot of great in commons and interests and stuff. I try to be an essential worker to them as much as I can. Um, being an essential worker means you can be more relied on, and I want to be relied on because I'm a reliable person. I try to be a reliable person, and it's just sometimes like there are going to be those days where you're going to have to pick up after people's slack. Sometimes that's I gripe about it. Am I down? I'll admit I have a little frustration when I have to pick up the slack for sometimes for people sometimes, especially now during a pandemic.
yeah.
Like it's it's just what we have to go with. It's just what we have to deal with at the time. And of course, like we have to of course I'm wearing my face mask always. I'm hand sanitizing all my hand. It's essential to my job as well. I have not gotten the coronavirus yet, thankfully. Um, So I have not stayed home 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks later, or anything like that. Like the essential thing is like if one, I just know that like no one tells us if we're infected with the coronavirus or anything like that. If we do know, if one person is infected with the virus, they'll pull that person aside, and anyone who was around that person or is probably exposed to that, they'll let them know. They don't tell us all, but we kind of figure out who doesn't show up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, like I think like 8 hours a day mostly I'm working, like an 8 hour shift mostly. That's what I'm pretty much doing is like 8 hour shifts, mostly all day shifts, probably sometimes five, sometimes six, sometimes seven. And you're wearing a face mask, and it can be kind of exhausting after that because you're wearing a face mask.
Yeah, especially the face mask thing. That's the one thing I don't like most about this time we're living in, but we gotta
Mhm.
deal with it. So,
We got to deal with it. That's all we can do is like we got to deal with what the cards have dealt us. And it's not just like all of us. It's people that who had refused to listen to this, blow this off. I'm not going to name like, and I'm not going to get into any politics, but I'm just going to say this. Some idiot people have refused to listen to the guidelines. And of course, we can't make everyone else uh, do. People are going to do what people are going to do, of course. And
mm,
we all can't be God basically and say no, do this, no, do that, and stuff like that. We just And if they choose not to wear a mask, that's on them. If they choose to believe that they're totally germ free, that's on them. But we're in the middle of a pandemic, and you got to at least understand how others are going through. Like now, my store, I think we just started distributing vaccines for people.
mm,
Yeah, we of course we can't get them yet. But of course, it's a very big uh, I would say it's very much like, of course, and I'll admit this pandemic has not made me happy very much because it's allowed like friends like Ryan here and other friends who I've wanted to do stuff with, had plans to do stuff with other people, but now because of this, it's halted and it's canceled. Can't go to concerts, can't go to vendors, can't go to
conventions.
anything, conventions. MetroCon is still trying. Probably by the end of July, this will all be okay. That's 3 months away, and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
there are some conventions that are still trying to go back to a normal decency. Um, I think the only consideration is that you're going to have to wear face masks, which is not the problem. It's safety. Yeah, have fun, but it's safety above all else.
Safety first. Yeah.
Yeah, safety above all else is that's what matters, and I'm pretty sure they're going to try to do the best they can, stuff like that. But yeah, that's mostly what I've been doing. Aside from else I've been doing, I've been trying to monetize my or trying to publish myself a little bit more on my Instagram account. I've been losing some followers. I don't know why, but I guess there's just not interested in stuff. But I'm just noticing the lack of likes on some of my stuff when I used to get like 30 to 60 likes post usually, until now that's like plummeting. I don't know if that's because of no one's on looking at stuff on Instagram and on this pandemic and stuff. There's some people still working remotely from home. There's some cosplay friends of mine
Mm,
who are still working from home. They still have like a studio and stuff like that. They still have photographers. Of course, I could pay a photographer to take a professional photo of one of my cosplays, but because I don't need to, because where I live, I have a good background set. I have a good nature set for my stuff. Like some of my photos on my Instagram where I'm of Dante and where I'm my character, I literally have trees, a perfect, beautiful view where I can take a photo and just not just take a photo of myself, but take a photo of the beautiful environment I'm in. So yeah,
yeah. I think your stuff is criminally underrated. So
criminally
everybody
underrated.
from my channel, go follow Keith's Cosplay, or you will not regret
Yeah, yeah, you'll
subscribing
not regret,
and
guys. I
following. You will not regret.
Yeah, it's I do some pretty awesome stuff, guys. It takes me time, of course. I'm not on like Twitter or anything like that. I don't have a Twitter for various obvious reasons. The best way to reach me is either YouTube, Instagram, Discord. Of course, I've got my own server there. Ryan has his own server. We stay connected that way. Um, that's the best way in how we connect. But
Yeah,
yeah, aside from also doing that, I am going to be in a contest actually, a costume contest. Believe it or not,
where?
it's at MetroCon. I think I'm more information needs to be posted, but I think I may have to resubmit my form because I submitted it last year, but then the pandemic got in the way. So
Yep.
that kind of like, but that allowed me more time to finish up my costume. And finally, I actually finished it. And there's photos of it on my Instagram right now. There's, I think, at least a couple, 6 or 5 photographs of it, of different versions of it. One, even a slow mo video of a character from a Dark Souls game. I call it a Dark Souls game, but it's really not a Dark Souls game. It's its own game called Code Vein. But it's basically what people call anime Dark Souls.
Yeah.
But it's really cool character design concept wise. Um, yeah, so I'm actually doing one of the main characters from that game, and as I got his weapon prop, I got his mask, and I think the best thing about it too is because I think I'll be able. I don't know if I'm not saying get away. I actually built a mask for this convention for the cosplay. Um, it's called a purifier mask, but yeah, I built it to be like basically a mask you just wear on. It's got two straps, one for the top of my head, one for the bottom of my, one for the back of my head, and that's how it stays on. And it's pretty interesting. But yeah, but even
Basically,
so, yeah, go ahead.
basically what I've been doing with this pandemic is trying to get my views up on my YouTube channel and like reading a lot of books on
Hmm.
Audible. I've been
Yeah, it's
I bought the Witcher like not the series, but the first book of the Witcher,
nice. You'll love that book.
and
You'll
I'm
love it.
halfway through Ready Player One, the book, and
Nice.
um yeah, I've been watching a lot of TV, watching a lot of anime, doing a lot of
Mhm.
Twitch, trying to stay away from people because it's really important.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really important for your situation. I think more than mine, obviously.
Yeah, it's really important
Of
for
course.
me because, you know, of my situation that
Yeah.
I have. So,
Oh yeah, I completely understand, buddy, and I'm pretty sure the audience understands. Will understand it as well. Of what you and I are going through, different circumstances and stuff like that. Of course, I'm trying to get my Twitch up and going as well. Of course, if people know I don't do face cams on Twitch for obvious reasons. I don't like people making. I'm still a little paranoid of that, making fun of me and stuff like that. However, my YouTube views have been skyrocketing. I don't know if you know, Ryan, but the first video I ever put up, that Monster Hunter video that I first showed you before I submitted it, it's
yeah.
got over 400 views. It's surprisingly
Wow, dude.
skyrocketed.
It's got
I
like,
have no.
man.
I know that like I know compared to most videos like 2 million views like or like 2 million like for like 2 million views for a video or something. But for me, that's a big accomplishment, and people have reacted to both of my Monster Hunter videos, and like one of the comments I'll actually say, I never thought I needed something more awesome in my life,
Hmm.
and I think that I know like one of the first rules of the internet is don't read the comments, but I had to read that and I was like, oh, I made this person's day or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, and then of course the first one, it's first person. Like I think one person later on, he said like, one of my Monster Hunter videos should have been the actual. I think it was the first video. It should have been the actual trailer for the game. For the game,
Yeah.
that was pretty
Oh,
cool.
come on.
There's our review, which skyrocketed. But you're okay.
Alright.
You're okay on my end.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's our little review of Monster Hunter, which I actually do got to mention someone told me there was an after credit scene that we both missed.
Did we?
We
I don't.
did. It was quick, but it was them just basically fighting the Goa Magala, that black dragon.
Oh yeah, they go Magala, and then they like freeze frame, and then they like go through all that after the
Yeah.
credits and shit. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that was the scene. I didn't know. I was like, when I saw that scene, I was like, I hope they better hint for a sequel. I want to see a sequel.
I still do. I want to see a sequel to that film.
Yeah, I want to see more monsters. I want to see, like, with that budget, the creatures were not that bad. I loved them.
I know Paul W.S. Anderson as a director gets a lot of flack, but you know, it was a good
I
movie.
think this was better.
So
I
it
think this
was.
was one of his best movies. Even though, like, the series itself is not his, Monster Hunter, he did a good job on this movie. I think he did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like, as
Sue
far as,
us,
like,
internet. Sue us, cause we like a movie.
yeah, so, yes, sue us, guys. If you don't like a movie, like, if you rather, like, see more dragon effects of the Rathalos and stuff, go watch Game of Thrones. Watch Drogon's animation. His animation's amazing and beautiful.
Yeah. Go watch your Game of Thrones, internet.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, aside from, like, yeah,
Man. Alright.
yeah,
Um.
aside from, like, us getting our YouTube stuff, I'm still trying to get onto it. But by the way, I don't know if you know, Ryan, I had released a recent video of an animation test that I worked on.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know.
I'll go take a look at that right after we record today. Like I was gonna.
Yeah, it's got no audio in it yet because I haven't chosen a soundtrack to it. I have chosen a soundtrack for it, and I'm syncing it up to it. But it's basically for one of my stories. It's linked in the description below. Yeah, I've been working on. I think I finished it last year, and I'm surprised because I finished it in 8 months. And now all I'm doing to it is rereading it, rechecking the grammar, and adding artwork that I made for it. So you'll see some artwork in it.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
excited to take a look at that.
yeah, sure. Yeah, take your time. I mean, I think Wattpad said, according to it, if you read all like 62 chapters, it's 10 hours to read it all.
Cool.
Yeah, I think I did like for that one. Word wise, that is 2,000 words each. Well, close to that, 2,000 words at least, above and a little bit below for a chapter. That's how much I've at least spaced it out for. And then final chapter, which is the final battle sequence for it, that's 6,075 words
Yeah.
of not just dialogue but describing. You kind of read it like a script in a way, which is kind of cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, anyway, that's what we've been kind of doing over at Geeks Cosplay and Art.
I've been trying to get back into like writing my scripts more. I mean, I haven't had like an idea, but I have an idea for a book that I'm writing. But
Oh, that's cool.
yeah. So a lot more writing coming from me. I've been off and on with the writing stuff, but that's about it for
Yeah,
what we've been doing in the
yeah. If
pandemic.
anything, I think like yeah, I think if anything, like writing has kind of helped me a little bit to like deviate some stress a little bit, like some ideas that I've had down about some ideas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, but anyway, guys, I think that's what we're gonna do for our podcast. In case you guys don't know, this episode was actually brought to you by Squarespace. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Skillshare.
Just kidding.
Squarespace, call us.
Yeah, Squarespace.
We have
Call
a
us.
phone.
We're just joking with you. Yeah, we have phones. We're just joking as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, this. Oh yeah, no. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be us for our little podcast. I think we've rambled on long enough. With
Oh,
technical
and
difficulties
one
and
more
shit.
thing. What are we going to name this podcast?
I think we'll name this podcast. Let's think about this actually for a minute.
What are we
We could
going to name it?
title this probably Podcast 2 for your channel. I think we could name it. something pandemic. Pandemic memories or something like that.
Pandemic Lounge.
That's a good one, actually. Pandemic Lounge. That's a good one. That's a good one. What we should do.
Alright, there you
I
have
think
it.
that's a very good one.
Pandemic Lounge.
There you guys have it. We
And
now have the name of this. If we continue to do this, is Pandemic Lounge. That's the title of this
Pandemic
podcast.
Lounge. That's the title. So, thank you for watching
Someone.
this. And
Yep.
my name is RyanWolfgang. He was Keeks
He's
Cosplaying
cosplaying
Art.
art,
And we will see you
and we'll
all
see
later.
you guys later.
Bye.